Game. Okay. All right. Game.
They're all over
No, I
by our
know they're right
sheds.
there. I just got. Yeah, actually, the whole sniper wolf deal really off because it harms the platform YouTube, which I've always had kind of a love hate relationship with the platform, but overall, it's like I really like it. I want it to succeed, and it's like they're without going into all the like they're just not they're not managing this situation correctly or in the most obvious manner. This YouTuber with 34 million subscribers doxed another YouTube for being critical of her content, and she doxed him, went to his house, took a picture, posted it to her 5 million Instagram followers, basically saying, come to his house, essentially. And then made other tweets and other things basically saying, like, I'm coming to your house, coming to your house. What are you doing? And just taunting and like in YouTube's terms of service, it says, if you're caught doing that or, even off platform, they can terminate you, demonetize you, all that. I mean, she lives in like an $8 million house in like Phoenix, Arizona, somewhere in the
Uh,
Southwest. But she was able to buy that from, and all she does is rips off TikToks. She does reaction content, so she rips off TikToks and reacts to them, but her reactions are literally just telling you what is happening and sometimes not even saying anything during, and then not crediting. Like, she crops the TikTok or the video so you can't see the usernames always, and doesn't credit where she's get the material. So, you know, something that could have or maybe did go semi-viral on TikTok, she's getting millions of views uh on her YouTube channel, and then of course making money off that, and of course YouTube takes that cut too. So like
uh-huh.
there's conflict of interest there, and of course that non-transformative fair use, of course, doesn't really they have, that's what I'm saying, love hate, because they don't really that very well, the whole fair use thing. Or, the whole reason you can't use copyrighted music, even if it was transformative, like you couldn't lip sync a song or remix a song, for that matter, without getting it struck. Here she is just stealing content and repercussions, and they've like promoted her, and keynote speaker at VidCon, stuff like that. It's just it's sickening, because any other and nice looking young woman, I mean, young, I think she's in her well, I think she's 30, but still. And they're just, if it was a guy that did this, doxed her, boom, banned. No consideration. No, it took them a week to
Well,
respond.
not only that, she'd completely scream she was a victim.
Oh, well, she's complaining, she's screaming she's a victim here too, you know.
Oh,
And the
jeez.
the creator she doxed is a creator that's been on since he started his channel in April of 2006. I started mine in January of '06, and he's been creating content since then. I mean, he's got millions of subscribers, but not 34. He's not into the double digits. Well, maybe he's just over the double digit, but we're like 10 million maybe subscribers. I'm not even sure he's into the double digits though. But a well-liked, creative, funny, like I said, transformative content. I mean, original, fully original content. I mean, not even that not super controversial. You know, I mean, he does a lot of satire, but it's not even like raunchy satire. So, like, you know, YouTube is lucky to have a creator like he's very brand safe, I guess. And they're just not even sticking up for him. And like I said, she has violated. Well, and then also like not people started dredging up old videos like where she was on Omegle and chatting with my obvious minors and like getting them to do suggestive things and you know uploading that as like you know content or reaction and stuff, and that's against the terms of service. And she deleted those videos probably because you know she well actually I think YouTube told her, hey, you know, delete these so we don't have to strike you or whatever, because these are clear, like again there's minors in the videos and they're doing she's like, work for me, I'll show you stuff, yeah, kind of thing. If you do,
yeah.
And these are, I mean, they were obviously like maybe 13, and that's probably being it. And YouTube's doing nothing. It took them a week to do a response, and they just said, "Well, we're going to temporarily monetize it." Anybody else, they you know, I can think of heck was it? Some of these other people they just deleted their channels. Some people that have done things that arguably are like far worse. They warranted a punishment, but of some sort, but you know, not necessarily completely deleting them. I think one was R. Kelly or somebody like that. I don't know, somebody like that, and then there was somebody who
But his needed to be deleted.
Yeah, well, what I mean is again, he needed to be deleted.
He needs to be deleted.
But well, that's what I'm saying. He needed to be deleted. But like I said, she's committed actual crime, because in California it's a crime to do that, and it's against terms of service. Yeah. But also, like I said, the videos with the minors, that's against terms of service, and potentially again, and YouTube's being very waffling. YouTube looks just as bad in this whole thing as her, and then her sister, who's not as big as her as far as voice, but still pretty big, you know, was standing up for her and going. But I think Jax is. I mean, he has not commented or said anything after raising it and the issue, and then being like, "Hey, YouTube, do this, do this, do this." I think he's probably. I wouldn't be surprised if next few weeks or something you find out he went to, you know, police and was like, okay, well, if YouTube's not gonna do something, I'm gonna take legal action, because he's well within his rights to take legal action.
Yeah.
Based on where he lives and stuff, but just again, it looks bad for the platform. We're gonna have another adpocalypse. That means ad rates are gonna go down, and that affects me, but it also affects everybody else, because it just makes the platform, they're gonna kill it. And it's like, I love YouTube because there's so much good stuff. That's the thing. There's so much good stuff on YouTube, and then messed up by literally one person. I mean, PewDiePie did that, but even PewDiePie's thing back in 20, that was I mean, it was in bad taste what he did, but it wasn't against terms of service, and it was explicitly against terms of service. You could make an argument because it was some satire, and trying to make a point. It just didn't have the nuance that he was, and then he didn't put anybody in harm's way. This sends a message because she's not any recommend. Okay, if you don't like somebody on this platform and you're a big creator, you can just look them up, harass them, post their address, tell your fans, hey, go check this guy out. Go show up to their house. And people have been showing up to this YouTuber's house, and who the heck knows? Because again, she's a attractive female that some delusional fan like, oh, I'll white knight for you, and go in and knows what something that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really it. And like YouTube is not taking, but I mean that makes it like, and like I was just thinking about it actually today. I honestly was gonna make a little video on my own channel, because the people who watch my stuff probably don't even know this is going on. Like you probably didn't know.
No.
And it's like, but here's the thing: like my carburetor, my idle air, mixing screw video, how to adjust that. Like, I did an edit in the video because I screwed up and didn't realize, and I didn't want to go back and refilm. Well, I screwed up the visual, like and people are still to this day kind of make a comment and kind of got, for a while they were kind of mad. It's like, you said you turned that screw 2 times, but I only saw you turn it like a half a turn. Well, if you notice, my thumb changes and hand changes like an instant position. Like my thumb's in a different place when I finish turning the screw. Like it's obviously I edited. And here's the thing: the screwdriver slipped off, and I just went back, and it's like, I don't want to go back and like, it's like, do what the visual doesn't have to exactly match what I'm telling you to do. And the thing is, the whole point of the video is like, okay, if it's 2 turns, this is what you do, but like your adjustment might not be 2. Like people miss the point. It's like, that's not a universal thing. So it doesn't matter if I turned it 2 turns, 3 turns. Just like if you're a good baseline is 2 turns. And people were getting mad about it. Well, okay, let's say somebody like, oh, I'm gonna show him, and you could look me up, you up. I mean, to dig. It's not too hard to look someone up if you know stuff, because all these websites have your first, have that public information out there. I mean, it's like back in the day of the phone book. If you knew the city, if you had a phone book with the city and knew first and last name, you could pretty much find some. You had to do the work. This is the same deal. Like somebody could be like, well, I don't like that, so I'm gonna go to the house now, and I'm not gonna get in trouble because look, this big old YouTuber didn't get in trouble, So I mean, that would probably not happen to me, but again, it could, because somebody will be like, oh, well, this guy looks funny, I'll just mess with him. But there's weirdos on the internet.
Yeah.
And if they don't see someone big like this getting a consequence, what's to say they're going to get a consequence? Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I've talked too much about it, but it's like, it's just one other thing that it's like, don't ruin this platform. I really like the big creators I watch, on here. I like doing what we're doing right now. I like making videos for it. It's like, don't ruin it, I don't want to have to go somewhere else because everybody's thinks YouTube's unsafe. I mean, that's why Kick's not. I mean, it's getting traction, but it's not legitimate traction, because guess what's on there? A lot of hot tub streamers, bikini cooking, basically promotion for people's own OnlyFans and stuff, gambling. It's not. It's not not general content, and it's okay, and I'm not against that stuff. It's just, it's not put in a little place where it's like, okay, it's an 18+ area, okay, you know what you're doing, then have like a more quote family friendly area. It's up to the viewer to make their discretion, but you need to let them know, like, hey, you click in here, you might see some things you don't like.
Yeah.
And they're not, and that's the thing. That's why Kick's, I'm skeptical that Kick really going to get traction just because it's being funded by casino and gambling stuff. And it's fine if people want to do that, but again, there's kids and stuff that are watching these streamers, and they may not fully understand the ramifications of some of that online gambling. There isn't real good controls around it. So, YouTube's a good place, but they're potentially gonna screw it up. Like, I want, when Tucker and Tripp get old enough to start making their own decisions about stuff like that, I want YouTube to be a place I don't have to worry about them running across stuff that might be questionable. I mean, I don't mean in nanny states, but I mean just, if I hear they're going on Kick, it's like, oh, there's primarily gambling on. I don't really want that. YouTube, it's like, okay, yeah, there's gonna be more adult language stuff. I gotta watch it, but it's like, at least I know probably gonna see relatively tame stuff. That's sort of the Sniper Wolf. Her main demographic is very young, because they're just watching it. Think of it as like it's like Tosh Point. What she's doing is Tosh.0, only take out his one-liners and zingers and his like his monologue, and take out the fact that, well, technically don't credit him on camera, but they asked permission before they used the video. Okay, so I mean, it's Tosh.0. Oh, actually, you know what? It's not even Tosh.0. It's ridiculousness with that, as if that girl with no Rob Dyrdek, none of that, not that guy sitting there. If it's just the laughing girl, literally just
Hell, yeah.
yeah. If it was just her, and they just continually played the videos, all you'd hear is her laughing. That doesn't add anything. And then they don't credit, didn't ask permission to use the video and didn't create credit. That's what her channel is ridiculousness with just her essentially laughing. I mean, yes, she does sort of talk, but she just literally reads whatever's on the screen. If there's like a caption, and then explains what's happening. It's like, oh, he's frying an egg, and oh, there it goes, it slipped out of the pan. That's literally her reaction, and that's what happened in the video. So I don't know. It gets me fired up just because it affects the platform, the hobby I share my hobbies, like that dirtied, and nobody else does.
Yeah.
That's why I'm surprised you haven't seen a little bit of it when you've gone on YouTube, because a lot of videos are trending. The homepage is, even though it's tailored to you, like, some of this may sneak into your feed just because it's all these commentaries on it, on the whole situation. And that's why YouTube finally did something, is because they've been getting just hammered on Twitter, like, hey, you gonna do something, YouTube? Hey, you gonna do something, YouTube? And they're kind of like, oh, shut up already. Their response, very milk toast.
Yeah.
So
No, I haven't. In fact, I just looked up her just to see, like, just to see who she even was. And
well, I'll tell you what.
I've never had it.
I'll tell you what. Go.
Hey, John. Just so you know, since you're on here, we are doing our Halloween stream next week. Or,
Oh
well,
yeah.
I guess it's technically a little bit longer next week.
Yeah, I have my questions. I need to finalize those. I also need to figure out how I'm going to decorate my set and everything. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of gearing up for that.
He says, okay, awesome. Yeah,
Actually,
we're gonna do trivia questions again this year, John.
actually, John probably knows who Sniper Wolf is. He's with it in that kind of realm. Actually, she made her name playing uh Metal Gear something or other a while long.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, maybe like 10 years ago or something. But here's the thing. She got ousted because her boyfriend, then later husband, and of course they got divorced, um, was doing the gameplay, and then he wrote a script, and then she would fake play it like was playing it, because look at this gamer girl playing Metal Gear, and he'd write a script and she'd just follow along and kind of sort of mash buttons and stuff. Somebody ousted her
Mm-hmm.
on that, and that's the other thing. She went all ballistic and stock. Oh, she's got a criminal record too. Priors, like
Oh,
going back into like 2013 and 2016, like actual, like one was
yeah, he
uh
says he's heard of her.
an assault deal, like some kind of an assault charge. Another one was like a little bit more minor, but still not. I mean, there were misdemeanors, something else, and then whatever. But anyway, she's just been a fake this whole time, a fake everything. But yeah, so
Yeah.
he probably knows the situation, what's going on. It's just it's disgusting. I said it again. It's dirtying up the platform I love. I mean, I've been on this platform for 17 years. Oh yeah, crooked line Swanee. He hopped into my chat. But yeah, whatever. 2000 January 2006. Whatever, however many years. I always say 15, but actually I think. Oop, we're gonna.
I think I got that front done.
Yeah, there's a little bit of.
Well, I mean on this side.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I guess I didn't really mean to bring start ranting about Sniper Wolf, but um, and again, I only
Hey,
knew about it.
Swanee.
I only knew about it because Jack's Films. I've been watching him, his main channel. He basically started up a parody channel and was live streaming on Twitch. He even made up like a bingo game because her videos and her reactions and everything were just so predictable. He would bring up the latest video and he had a bingo card, and they would go through the video and he'd stop. Oh, there's a stock sound effect, or oh, we didn't give credit to the creator. There's your space, and just I mean, transformative. And then also he was empowering creators that got their stuff stolen and stream, like here's how you file a claim. And she for people who actually edit her videos, um we're having to edit things out, because if you claim it, it either you could potentially get a strike, but not a strike, but it takes the monetization away unless you remove it, or they get to share in the monetization. Well, she wasn't going to have that, so um uh so he and they were documenting cases where, okay, this guy filed a claim, and oh, the video got shorter because they had to cut the clip out, and it's like an obviously edit. So, and he'd been doing this for months and months and months, and finally she did the doxing, what it came to. But then she claimed that was harassment, and it's like, no, that's making satire of your content. And there was more of him talking and explaining rather than even showing her videos. So, and that's the whole thing of transform content and everything. But I'll send you his channel. You watch one of his, you'll get the gist of what this whole thing is. I mean, you can watch any commentary video; they'll give you the whole lowdown too. But his videos are hilarious, and how he's like, Oh, shaky cam, shaky cam effect, mark your bingo cards, and like he'd have thousands of people watching and thousands of people playing in each stream playing bingo. And when you get a bingo, he'd shout you out, and he'd gift subs and things like that to the bingo winners and stuff. Just hilarious. I mean, just it was good content, yes, and bringing to light. And then YouTube's like, we don't like that both sides are like Jack's the victim. And he's like an actual talented creator because
John says a lot of gamers on YouTube and Twitch are not who they say they are at times.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. I mean, anybody who thinks every single one is. I mean, again, XQC, which he knows who that is, or whatever. You could argue is a little worse as far as the whole reaction content deal, but I mean, I guess that's the worst thing he's done is stealing creators' content. But I mean, he hasn't, my knowledge, hasn't done anything to this level. And she's stealing and then being like, "Oh, I'm being the victim," and I mean that's the other thing. It's against terms of service to do that too. But of course, he's a big creator too, so he won't get anything for stealing the content. He'd have to steal content from. Got rid of these.
Well, I was actually thinking of after we get done with this cut and removing more.
Well, yeah, because I'd have my.
Because there's a couple in the back that I wouldn't mind removing too. So
well, I was trying to go around this
maybe maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll clear all these trees in our mow path.
Dang it, see, and that's the thing. I'm stuck on a tree now. But
here, I'll come over.
Well,
I can get you unstuck. Yeah,
you need to just push me away. I clipped it with the thing. Well, I was gonna unhook and just
don't move.
Okay.
Don't move. You're fine.
You gotta kind of reset.
No.
Are you gonna use the
Superman
strength? There you go. Okay.
Now go.
Okay. Well, let me drive clear away. Well, I was trying to go around the tree and be. I knew what I was doing. And I know, not like Jack's film isn't universally beloved, but there's no reason to like outwardly hate him. You may not think all of his stuff is funny. I sure get that, but it's like he doesn't hurt anybody. He doesn't steal from anybody.
And John was talking about copyright claims on my chat.
Yeah.
So and then he brought up music. So there's a reason why we're not playing the music in this game.
Yeah.
And that is solely because of that.
But here's the thing: someone like Sniper Wolf, she probably could, and she'd get some kind of immunity, or they'd have some setting turn, so she wouldn't get named. She's their golden child.
Yeah.
Or and there's others. I mean, she topic. Yeah.
No, I it hasn't popped up in my feed, but to be fair, I don't really look in my feed too much.
Yeah,
I've got enough other stuff. I got enough stuff saved up that I need to watch, and
yeah.
and,
that's
most of my feed is
the algorithm might not push it to you because you're not watching. I don't watch a lot of commentary channels, but there's a few I check in on every now and again just because there's older ones. Swanee will know this guy. Well, he might not know this guy, but he'll know the guy I'm talking that talks about him. Rich at Review Tech USA, he's kind of a locale. Well, here's the thing, actually, like I haven't watched a Boogie video in a long time, but like he made a video on it, and but this Rich at Review Tech USA, I occasionally jump in on him when he's talking about DSP Gaming or Philip Burnell, um, which you don't know who that is either, but he was famously caught. And this was back in 2016, a long time ago. But before one of his streams, he was essentially rubbing one out, but he had the camera on, like that was out of frame, just out of frame, but you could tell what was going on, and
Yeah.
he like was like, "Oh, the camera's been on all this time. Oh, geez," kind of, and then just tried to play it off, but you could tell he was like, "Oh shit," And I think Swanee will know, or he should if he doesn't. It's kind of like hilarious. But anyway, this guy goes way back too. He's a terrible person too, but he goes back to the blip.tv days. He was on there, and he's always e-begging and whining about, you need to give me subs, you need to give me tips and all this, because I gotta pay my mortgage and I gotta eat, I gotta pay my mortgage. So he's begging all the time on every single stream. It's like, oh, tips are kind of slow and stuff. He's like got over, I think he's got like 1 million subs, but he like only gets like a couple hundred people in his streams, and his videos only get like a few thousand views. I mean, for someone who has 1 million subs, you should be getting more than a couple thousand views on your videos. That just tells you that the only people who are watching him are hate watching. So that's Swanee. You can react in mine or Chris's, but you know who DSPA Gaming is, don't you? And did you?
Swanee's only in yours.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if he was on yours.
No, I didn't. I saw his message finally pop
okay.
up
You
on my
got
Twitch.
mine up so you can see it. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I just thought you had yours and maybe my.
So John says he likes watching old guy ADD all the time. He's on Facebook.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Yes, he says he has to mute the games all the time so he doesn't get copyright.
Hell yeah. Well, and like like my Atari stream, that I just did before this, and that I'm gonna do. I'd love to be playing some just for my own enjoyment, but just some '80s music or something that goes with the times. So it'll get struck. So.
But it's funny bringing up Facebook and streaming. I've said this before, but Facebook has been going through, or actually it says Sony has been going through my old streams that, they go back, well, they'd go back almost 4 years now, roughly. Maybe not, maybe 2 or 3, but
you've been doing at least
they go back.
Years. I know that.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I don't remember how long I've been on Facebook streaming.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. But they've been going back through my old ones because I don't stream on Facebook so much anymore, and there's only like it's a limited audience, so to speak.
Yeah, because you don't have a page.
They've been going back and like removing music from my old streams. It's like, well, it's never going to be monetized anyway, so I guess whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, see, that's what sucks about a lot.
But it's hilarious to me.
A lot of my early videos, way back in the day, especially like the MGR ones and stuff, we had the back then we had all that music in there. Of course, at the time, we didn't know anything, and of course, this was before I created a lot of those before YouTube, so
yeah,
I wanted to have that music in there just because that's stuff we listened to, and then it was YouTube didn't even have a content ID, but then the music companies 2007, 2008, started bits and this, so they developed a way to do it, and then they were like, "Oh, well, you're blocked," and then first they muted the video, so it's like, well, that makes it unwatchable, sort of, because there was parts where it's like, we're talking or we're funny things or whatever, not music, and then it's like, oh, it's blocked in countries, and it's like, oh, and then it's like, well, you have a choice, you can replace the audio, and then some of them they just muted on their own, and I didn't get the option to do anything. Now see, now you can audio swap, or you can move audio, like with their editor. Well, they didn't have any of that stuff 15 years ago, and I was like, well, I was afraid, oh, my channel's gonna get deleted. The like I said, the emails they sent and everything acted like, we'll kick you off the platform, or this, that, and the other. I wasn't monetized yet, but I thought, well, maybe someday, and someday did happen, uh, but I need they made it sound like, well, your videos will never be seen by anybody unless you mute them or you replace the audio. And well, a lot of them, like I said, I didn't get a chance. It just got muted, and it's gone forever. YouTube did that, and then there's other ones where I chose to mute parts or things, or do a swap and audio swap, and it's like, oh, well, you can go from our copyright free library, and it's like, hard to find songs that went, and that were long enough, so then there was dead spaces, and then it overwrote things, so the videos, and if I had the tools that I have now, videos would still be more or less what they were, just with other audio, other songs in them. But now they're just, which is kind of sad, they're unwatchable. I mean, not that they're worth watching from anybody but us, but like, you can't go in there and watch it and hear the original. You'll have to put in your VHS tape that I made for you if you want the actual original version. And I mean, I do have them technically backed up, but they're compressed and all this, because at the time YouTube's upload was only 100 megabytes. You couldn't do any more than a 100 megabyte file, but that was huge compared to everyone else's. At the time was only 25 megabytes. So yeah, but it kind
Yeah.
of sucks, because it's like my YouTube history is all messed up. Like, and I have a lot of memories because I can remember editing those videos, or I can remember almost the day I uploaded. I was like, wow, you know, I made, sounds silly, but it's like, I put these on VHS, gave them to you guys, but outside of you guys and then a few people, I like kind of forced, like in college, forced them to watch them. Nobody was ever going to see these, and I was like, oh wow, I can share this with the world and other like-minded people. And well, now they're just not even someone nowadays. I can't even like it's embarrassing to link to it, not because they're cringy, but it's because they're cringy because it's all out of context now, because the audio isn't there. You know?
Yeah.
Like, like, not that I would probably ever link it to somebody, but for example, the bits, the trailer park parties and stuff, well, without the audio, it's like, what's going on, like, or like all the
Yeah.
behind the scenes stuff. It's like, you kind of need because that kind of need the context, otherwise you're like, why are we unloading motorcycles, or what's going on, where are we, in the video I'm telling you where we're at, but now because it's muted, it's the if I know now, I wouldn't. I could have made a few different choices, but at the time I was like, oh well, they're gonna block my channel. And I was like, this YouTube thing's pretty neat. I don't want that to happen. I didn't want to get banned. That's when we were still active, certain forums like forum and stuff before that got shut down and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. There's all that kind of stuff too related to that era. I mean, sometimes I go in the Wayback Machine and look, which not everybody's would be that way, but my channel, it happened to get captured a couple times in the Wayback Machine. So I can go back to 2010 and look at my channel. And what's hilarious is there's one snapshot of it. I think it's in 2012, but it's I just uploaded I think it was my wheat harvest in Nebraska video, and it says under it says uploaded 13 minutes ago. The little crawler was crawling just after I uploaded that, so it has no views, and that video has hundreds of thousands of views now. It's kind of fun. Look that stuff up. And then I went down a rabbit hole where I was like, okay, let's go to the homepage of YouTube back in 2007 or 2006. Shortly. I try, you know what? They didn't crawl the day I created my channel. They crawled it the day before, and they crawled it 3 days after because I wanted to see my first upload, but it isn't there. But I just went to some random videos that were uploaded, it said 5 minutes ago, and then try to find them now on modern YouTube. And some of them are still there, and they're on channels that they uploaded 3 videos in 2007, and then they abandoned their channel, but the videos are there. So and I was thinking of live streaming, doing that as going in, I don't know what I was going to call it, but going in the Wayback Machine and then looking up videos, seeing if they're still there, watching them, and then reacting and then commenting on, hey, it's 2023. I found you. I found you through the Wayback Machine, and your video's still here, and comment on them, and then see if they comment back later, But thought that'd be a good kind of live stream, Twitch deal, is react to random videos from the Wayback, see if they're still on YouTube or deleted, or if the channel's active, or did the channel grow, or did it turn into some. Not like somebody you'd know now, but like my channel. If somebody went in the Wayback Machine, is oh, here's this channel with 10 subscribers, and then look me up now, and it's oh, 30,000 subscribers. I have 700 videos or 500 videos, or I don't really have all that. But the fact that I've been active the whole time. So far, the several videos I've done, or I found doing that, are they uploaded a couple times that year that they signed up, and then never again. But you can tell they're old crappy cell phone videos. Actually, I ran across one, and I hope I bookmarked it or whatever, saved it, but I don't think I did. But basically, it was a kind of an upstart band. I think they were kind of semi hip hop and they even linked to their MySpace page. Well, I went in the Wayback Machine to look up their MySpace page. But the thing is, the video was very reminiscent of the Trailer Park Party. They're whatever band name for life, kind of thing, kind of like our MGR and stuff.
Hey, Brad. Are you not at the game tonight? My cousin Brad is in.
Oh, you get all the family. See, I can't.
Well, but it's on my Facebook.
Oh, okay. Well, hell, if I would do my Facebook, I wouldn't get anybody watching on my Facebook, family or otherwise. I mean, you would.
Kick wasn't working very well, so I switched over to Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't. I I think I tried streaming once on Kick, but it's like I feel like if I want to get traction anywhere, I want it to be either Twitch or, well, of course, YouTube. I'm monetized on YouTube. Twitch, yeah, probably won't even get to your level, but maybe I do it.
Well, you could. I mean,
I
it was
could. I don't promote it. I don't. I didn't. I'm not doing what you're doing, where promoting it and in a community about it. But I figure I did get a new follower this week though, so it'll. Again, the whole YouTube
well.
thing.
So I can remember when I first started on Twitch, I was like, "There's no way I'm ever gonna get to affiliate on this thing," and I think well, I know. I mean, I know you guys watched, and that helped too. And then
Well, I figured that would
casual,
help for discovery though, because if
yeah, and
Twitch
casual,
sees people various users watching for long periods of time, I figure it's like, well, let's promote it on the appropriate pages, because obviously it must be good because these people are watching the stream or most of the stream. I mean, that's what happens on YouTube. That's how you get discovered on YouTube. Watch time. But anyway, go ahead.
yes, yes, it is it's a laptop. It's not a PC, but it basically the same thing. It's not a console, anyways. It's actually, I've got a fairly, well, it's a couple years old now, but it's a fairly high-powered laptop, even compared to some of the gaming laptops that are still out there.
Yeah, he's basically got his laptop spec'd about how I have my gaming / editing rig. Well, especially the GPU, which again is older generation, but it's a pretty decent setup, especially for. You got
And
a processor.
Friday nights we do this multiplayer on my YouTube and my. It's a mixture of Facebook and in another place called Kick. Neither one of them are. They're not paid. I'm not paid for those. And then in the morning and on Sunday morning, my Twitch channel, and that one's the one that I am paid for.
Speaking of that though, with like Kick, because Kick doesn't run advertisements, the only way you're gonna ever, or people can ever make money there, is by getting subscriptions. I don't think that's ever gonna be viable for, like, the way you're gonna make the money is from the advert pre-rolls
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that stuff.
That
And
yeah,
that's the
that's
thing.
that's
That's why I'm not I don't really care about Kick, because it's like, well, I'm not gonna ever become like a person, and I don't want to be a personality on that kind of platform, and that's why Twitch and YouTube, you might see an ad on the YouTube passive income. Now, granted, the way you make a living at this ad nauseum, but is some merch or having a Patreon or having other means. You can do tips and thanks and stuff on YouTube. But well, like, I guess the other thing is, like, I do throw you bits and stuff, which does pay you, and people can. That's an easy way to help support a creator on the. But like, Kick doesn't really have that yet. I mean, they have a version
yeah.
of it, but it's not. I just don't see that ever coming for either one of us. Where, I mean, you're more into it than I am, but we're still both just casual about it because day jobs.
Yep.
You're never gonna.
Yeah.
You nor me, but you're never gonna pay your mortgage by streaming on Twitch.
No.
I mean, good, but you'd have to really
I'm
work
doing.
at it. You'd have to quit your day
I'm
job
doing.
to do that.
I'm doing grass. This is we're back here. This is a we swapped this field, or well, we mowed it. We started with sickle mowers.
Got tired of that.
Yeah, we got tired of that, so we switched over to actual mowers in these farmalls. This map is kind of build it as you want, kind of. I shouldn't say kind of. It is. So we made that silage field in the back. There is a field in the front, over by where my silo is, that we have soybeans in.
Why don't you take him for a tour?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I'm
almost full
keep
anyways.
working. And we're kind of doing this more like semi-vintage. I mean, trying to
We started off with really vintage equipment that we didn't like the first tractor, so we switched to these farmalls, and these farmalls have been doing.
What were they? German or
doing
Russian?
Pretty good.
They were German or Russian or something, but they weren't very good. They weren't powerful, and they were dopey looking too.
So what I'm doing is I'm taking this. This is definitely a PC mod. These two. You can't get them on console here. This is a fermenting silo. This is how we're making our money. And that silo back there is a just a regular grain bin, except for
there's a little bit of grass in
it. It holds like millions of bushels. A little bit mod there, but pick up. We have another farmall. We have another friend of ours that joins us from time to time. I brought in all this vintage equipment for us to use.
2-row lister there.
We're decorating for Halloween.
Yeah.
We got our dirt bikes.
Gotta work before you can play.
I gotta show them the outhouse here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is the office.
Let's see. My outhouse on this map has well, because Tucker put it in there, as a gas can.
Yeah, I saw you guys put that in there last stream.
Although I think I forgot to save, so I don't know if any of what.
Well, that gas can's not going to stay there anyways, even if you did save it.
But what I mean is like whatever we did with the grapes and stuff. Because I X'd out of the game, so I don't think I saved. I mean, I did save somewhere along the way, but I'm up and some.
We got ourselves some old trucks here, and this is the most modern thing we have on the farm, and that's only because we needed to remove the trees. Although I did find a bobcat that is vintage. I was going to use it on another map.
Actually, off topic a little bit, but kind of related to what you're doing now. That I ran across a video that's like the history of bobcat, and now I've seen old bobcats like before they had cages and rollover protection and stuff, but the very first bobcats was like a tricycle design. It was a documentary. It was quite interesting. I wonder if somebody would ever mod one of those. It's weird. I mean, it's seriously weird looking. It's like a.
There is some weird looking ones in there. Yeah. We were on before this map. We were on a farm called Welker Farm, which runs Big Buds, and that's what we were doing on there. Is we were running Big Buds, which is literally the largest tractor in the world that you actually farm with. And we decided we wanted to do some vintage farming, and we kind of, I don't know if I still have that tractor in here. We started with, nope, I don't. I took it out. We started with another tractor, but we didn't like it. It was underpowered.
Yeah, some German or Russian
And
thing.
I thought it was British, but I could be wrong. Because Casual knew about it.
Well, maybe that. Yeah, that could be right. I don't know. It was dopey looking and
maybe it was, and maybe they have them in Britain. I don't know, but anyways, so we switched to these farmalls because they have more horsepower, and they've been doing us pretty good here.
You know what I just realized? I forgot to make sure the chicken. All I gotta do is check my.
Well, just don't leave your tractor on the
I won't. Hang on.
silage pit.
I
You
won't.
don't block me again.
But
He's done that. He's done that before. That's why I'm
no,
saying that.
I just gotta just check my. I got a security cam. I got a chicken cam, so I can see, make sure they're in. Because sometimes they don't, with the days getting shorter, and I have light in there and all that. So usually it makes them in. Yeah, they're all. But the shorter days was giving them fits. Sometimes the automatic door would close and there'd be one or two sitting out on the ramp getting up, just sitting there waiting for the door to open.
And if you're wondering why we're saying we're putting our plan into action, that's what we called the title of this one. So last week we decided we took the dirt bikes and went for a drive, and we decided Junkman, who's streaming with me, always wanted to make a dirt bike track on this map, and we kind of decided that with the money we're making from silage and everything, we were gonna start building a track. Well, were we doing something else? I can't remember. I think I feel like there was a couple of things we were gonna do with the money. But I remember the dirt bike track. Oh, we were gonna do grapes. That's right.
Oh, the grapes. That's another thing.
Yeah, we were gonna expand into grapes, and we were gonna build a dirt bike track on this map. So we're trying to collect all this because this makes us money, and then we're gonna turn that money into the dirt bike track. We're gonna invest it in the dirt bike track and the grapes.
Yep.
We don't have cows on this map. We could. I guess some people love animals on here, but I kind of find them like all you do with them is just, I mean,
you don't.
We just literally take this grass and dump it in their food trough. I mean, you don't really.
And you don't get to take them to the slaughterhouse either. Like again.
No. Although they do have beef cows, but you just take them back basically to a sale barn is the equivalent. The dealer.
Yeah.
I just don't find them as fun. I like doing the field work. I have kind of started branching out my other streams into doing them. And I have thought about doing chickens on this one.
Chickens would
just
be,
have not.
Just only because, yeah, that's the thing. Well, normally I check right down to sundown just to make sure. And like I actually go. I also have a security camera so I can eye on them. for Predator, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was too busy streaming my Atari games, trying to beat my records, and then I and then took like a, I don't know, whatever, this 15-minute break, and then we started farming. Speaking of that, I like your idea of, okay, beat the score, doesn't, but I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm probably gonna go and try for that again. I feel like I want to get the level higher too. Not just beat the score, but also get the level higher.
Yeah.
On that one.
Well, I think you kind of picked up on what I was saying, but
Because,
I just thought it was like, well, you got there faster.
Yeah, I got to the score faster,
but
then again,
which to me would indicate that you were scoring more points in the
well, I
level
was,
in less levels.
Because in level 9, was it? Is it right before the fireball starts getting not pausing? See, I whoops, wow there. I was kind of milking it, or I was farming for points there, which isn't against the game, but then I don't know. I guess, what do you think? Is that in the spirit of how the game's played? Is that I mean, I wouldn't call it like cheating, but is that not good gameplay? Or not? Because I'm not. I could because it's like, oh, I could end the level, complete the level by just kicking the turtle, getting the turtle and kicking it, or just keep letting it go, cycle through, because the slip ice, they infinitely spawn, and I think they're worth at least 500. I forget exactly. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't speed run or anything. I mean, I watch speedrunners, but it's a little different when you're trying to do. I mean, unless they're doing a challenge where it's like max points and stuff. But is that, I don't know, is that against the spirit of beating the record if I just sit there and farm respawning enemies? I mean, it's not like it's super easy, because as you saw, I was having to dodge the fireball, and then I'd get out of rhythm and potentially lose alive. So there is risk to it, but I guess I do see your point, though. I got a higher score quicker than I did when I was, whatever, 10, or whenever 10, 12, 13, 14, whenever I set that record. Because I probably, well, actually, I know I didn't sit there and farm. And when I was farm those points, or farm for points on that, I'm not sure I ever kind of realized, oh, I could just do this. But like the asteroids, I did later figured out, it's like, okay, well, especially on that easier level, as long as you can just hold out until that next life, maximum you can get is 9 lives in that game, but lose a life, as long as you can hold out, you can just kind of infinitely going, just keep rolling this. Mario Brothers, different story a little there, especially with the fireball. Again, randomization, but I don't know. It's an interesting thought, because I didn't immediately think of your way of looking at it till you said that. It's like, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I gain the points faster because, as you saw in those earlier levels, as long as you don't miss something, you're going to get the same. You're going to end the level on the same score. A lot of arcade games are that way until you get a bunch of waves in, unless you have the darn thing memorized. I'm not that good to have everything.
That field, I don't know if you saw it when I went over to the the field ID that popped up in the corner, but it is soybeans. Soybeans is pretty profitable in my opinion. So I planted soybeans in that one. We got corn in the backfield, and we did that because we're gonna get the equipment to make corn silage. And John says later, so we'll see you later, John.
Yep. See ya. Thanks for joining in, as always.
Yep. Well, I guess I don't. I look at it as like you didn't. As long as you didn't. You were playing within the bounds of the game. It wasn't like you were modifying the game to achieve a higher score. As long as it was you're playing it the way the game was originally built. So I don't know if I necessarily.
Well, that's true. That I guess the only thing I could modify based on achieving the score, like for example, the asteroids, the stream before that, like I don't know how I achieve. I don't remember if I had game difficulty A or B. I wasn't being that detailed, And I feel like I might have been on the hard. I might have started off on the harder difficulty when but then again, I don't know, maybe I wasn't as when I set that score, I wasn't as good. That's the thing we went through. I totally remember when we created that book is we're like, all right, we're gonna set a bunch of high scores or a bunch of scores. I mean, set high score, but just let's set what we thought were decent scores time for each other, because there's Jody's handwriting in there and my handwriting in there, so we were both making scores, and so we did. That's about all. Some of them we just played just to set a score, whether we were really that great at the game or not. But then I remember some of them we did every time we'd play. We would sometimes sit down to make a good score, but a lot of times we just sat down to, I just want to play, and what happens. The hard one's going to get when I get to Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, and Junior Pac-Man, because I remember we ground those games. Heck, my mom even ground on Pac-Man, original one. Play it so much, get a cramp in her hand. She'd end up having to hold the joystick like with her feet, so she just had to use one hand to, But I remember my palms sweating and all that, blister stuff.
So yes, we do sell. Yes, we do sell to make the money. Silage is pretty good on here to make money. We can cheat in. I have. This is a PC only mod. I have the capabilities to cheat in money. Have we cheated money in on this map? No. We started out with $0, and me and Junkman have been working to build that up. We had about, I don't know, what'd you say, about 90,000 must have been, because we bought the second field up here that was 85, and maybe it was more than 90,000. We made that all off of silage, and
yeah, it was just over 100.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah. We haven't cheated any money into this version. We didn't I don't think
didn't
we
want to.
necessarily wanted to do that. Yeah. The last map we played, we did.
Well,
Just
because
because
that's
the
why
big
we
buds
just
and everything
wanted to
were
do.
expensive.
Yeah, other maps we just wanted to, do combines, different, biggest equipment, or like did we cheat? Probably cheated in on Nebraska, right? That map where we were doing whiskey.
We weren't originally going to, and then I caught Derek hiring workers when
Oh,
we didn't
right.
have any money, and so then I was like, well, I'm gonna have to cheat money in, or he's gonna
Run us out of
break the
money because
bank.
yeah, he was
Yeah,
hiring workers. Yeah, that's
he
right.
he would tell us he won a farm, and then he'd get in the game with us, and he would hire a
He'd
worker,
just ride
and
along with the
our
hired worker.
and these are big fields. I mean, like huge fields, like maybe four of these rectangles put together. And he was hiring a worker to work them, and our bank account was just going dry. And it's like, well, I'm gonna have to cheat it in if we're gonna keep this going.
But the point of those streams specifically, and especially when he gets in uh, on those ones, is we just want to chat. I mean, it's like old times for us when we would physically get together, but we're all separate. And this is, and we, we before the internet and stuff, we chatted on the phone and all that. This is a way to, rather than doing three-way calling and stuff, is for us to just get together and chat it, and then do something. We didn't have clear goals doing those. I mean, we kind of did. This one is more goal oriented, or what we're trying to do here is a little more goal oriented. Do it.
Yeah,
No
we're
cheating
trying
money.
to keep it.
We want small fields, vintage esque, like 1970s ish type or older type equipment, and just see what we can build, and like I said, try some different things like the grapes and whatever, and the chickens sound interesting. Maybe later.
We can keep expanding. I mean, we're not set by anything, so we can keep expanding as we want to.
But it's to do it kind of semi hard or realistic. I don't know. I don't even want to call
Well,
this not really a role play. I don't know.
well, I maybe to kind of add some challenge to it, so that we're not just like,
There's a reason we're doing what we're doing.
yeah, because the other ones that we did cheat money in, a lot of it, or it was pretty much driven by we wanted to play with certain equipment.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, this is. Let's see if we can make the money to buy more land, then break it out, then do this, and then whatever we got to do with the grapes. Make money to then buy the equipment, that or. And then again, like I said, the dirt bike track is a goal eventually for That's for recreation. Like last time after we
Yes,
got done.
yes, there is a Nebraska map. It's called Green Valley, Nebraska. It's a third-party map, which means that you can't. So this game has what they call a game hub, which has mods on it, and then like third-party mods or mods that you have to go outside of the game hub to get. So like we downloaded it from a. You have to be careful about doing that, and go to. There's only certain sites that I trust and stuff, but yeah, had to download it, and it's a 4X map. It's a PC only map.
Yeah, so can't cross play with console.
Yeah, you can't cross play with console on it. It is. Gosh, I can't remember the towns now.
Well,
It was up in the Sandhills. I remember that much.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's set
it wasn't around here. It was up in the Sandhills, but it was as close as we could get at the time. There's been closer. There was in 19 there was a map based around, wasn't York, was it it was a town over by there. Because I played it.
Anyways, Swan, thanks for the super chat.
It was another small town. What was the name of that town? Anyways, it was over by York. It's not Hampton, I don't think.
I'm trying to think of what else is over there.
It was
Stewart.
It was a no, Seward's too far east.
Okay, wasn't that far east?
No, it was like right next to York.
Not Aurora.
Nope, it was a smaller town.
Okay, I'm trying to think.
I'm looking it up.
I'd have to get out a map. I can't.
The only thing I remember about the town is it was actually hit by a tornado. Like, oh, it's probably been close to like 7 or 8 years ago now. Oh, maybe it was Henderson.
Oh, okay.
Was it Henderson? I think it was Henderson.
Is that where Gibbon was from, or he taught there before he came, or
I don't know.
it, or was it No, Kronhoff was from. I don't know. It seems like that was familiar. Like somebody we knew or knew of was from there, or came from.
Well, if the only other one was besides McKibben, who was Licklider.
Oh, maybe it was him. Because the reason why is because somebody had a shirt from there, like one of those.
Well,
coaches.
See, I didn't know where any of those. Maybe I knew where Kronhoffman was from, but I didn't know where any of those.
See, Madison's
otherwise,
from
those
up there by
coaches
kind
were.
of Norfolk and stuff. Like you drive by it, and I was like, where he? Because he started and then transferred and stayed. But anyway, off topic, I guess. Might have been Henderson. Thinking of a town up that way, or over that way. That would have been a small town.
I'm trying to. So there's a mixture of. There's all sorts of different kinds of maps. There's real places. There's made up places. There's American maps. There's British maps. There's Brazilian maps. I don't know if there's any out. There's Australian maps. There's. I don't know if there's any African. I'm sure there probably are. There's maps like this where you have to build everything. Pretty much build everything. There's some kind of gameplay for everybody.
Yeah,
and most of it is in the mod hub. You don't have to go third party.
Well,
if you don't want to, it's safer to go. It's safer to stay in the mod hub.
Well,
that way you don't get viruses in the mod hub, or you shouldn't.
You're the one that got me into it. I probably would never play the game. It wasn't so you were playing it on it. Well, you've been playing for a long time, but once well, I told you about Mixer, and you're like, wonder what this is, and then you started streaming on Mixer, and I was like, okay, well, I'll watch it because you're doing it and streaming, and then you're like, I think I want to get a PC. I don't know how the PC came about. How do you decide that? But anyway, you're like PC, and I was like, well, if you.
The only reason the PC came about was because I was looking for a laptop, and I couldn't find what I would normally get for a laptop, which is super cheap. And I was like, well, what do they have for gaming PCs? And so I found one that looked pretty reasonable price, and I sent it to you, and you were like, you should get that.
Well, yeah, because for the price you paid, it was pretty good. I thought. I mean, maybe some a little more tech savvy would be like, oh well, you didn't get this last feature. Well, it obviously runs this game just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it seemed pretty. It at the time it was very well spec'd for the price you paid, and you didn't pay that much for it. I mean, I know it seemed like a lot of money at the time, and it was, but it wasn't like what some people
It
would
was,
pay.
but it wasn't. It was, but it wasn't what like what other laptops and
Well, that's what I'm
you know
saying. I mean, it's
higher end laptops and stuff. But the
right.
other thing is, like, I was darn lucky because I bought it like 2 months before COVID and all the um
Chip shortage.
before everything went up through the roof. You know,
Yeah. Well, that's another thing is, yeah, you
I
just
bought it at the
timed it.
exact right time.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, yeah, I don't. It just happened to be just the right deal at the right time, and but yeah, I was watching you play, and I was like, and then once the PC thing happened, I was like, well, well, I guess I could. I stream. I didn't game stream or game really, but I was like, well, I guess game's cheap, and you're on PC, you could now you can stream. You don't have to stream through the console. You can do all this other stuff that you're doing with your live stream, and
Yeah.
things. And then I told you about Restream. I was using that, and I was like, well, I guess I could buy the game, and we could play, and you know play and chat. I mean, we were already chatting. We in normal we like I said back in the earlier days after we scattered. We emailed back and forth and like throughout the
Yeah.
day, and then once we started texting, I was a little slow to pick up on getting a smartphone for texting, but that's a whole other story. But we were emailing back and forth. It's like, well, we could game stream and then talk. We wouldn't have to go through text and hang out this way. Like I said,
Well,
then
and
Derek was like, well, I guess I could. I got a decent enough
well,
PC.
he'd already had it for his son, so
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it
So he
kind
was
of is
like, "Well,
like
I'll join in," and it's like, and that's the thing when me and him would talk because we'd maybe only talk once a month, but when we would, we'd talk for like 4 hours. So it's like, well, might as well play a video game or something.
well, what's funny is even if I don't stream with him, like even if I get a text like, "Hey, you just want to talk tonight? Let's just farm or something." I was like, we'll just sit here and farm, even though we're like talking like we were talking on the phone. And
Yeah.
it's like it may not necessarily be streamed.
Well,
Um,
yeah. I
I may
mean,
not turn on the stream so that we could just talk, but yeah, we don't even talk on the phone anymore. We
yeah.
we literally use our streaming setups to
Well,
talk like
and that's but with me and not gaming is kind of silly because I've always like even going back to when I bought my first computer after getting out of college, my first own computer because I was always borrowing my roommates before that. Um I've always had a decently banging system like that could run for the time high end games well. I've always had a gaming type PC or a gaming spec PC because I needed the specs for the video editing, but I never bought any games. And partly that was to do it's like, well, you can kind of get sucked. I don't want to get sucked into something, and that's mostly it. I don't want to get sucked into modern gaming because I they're I hate to use the word expensive, but they can be expensive if you again get sucked in. It's like, well, okay, there's a new pack for this, but it costs $5, and that $5 turns into 10, and then it turns into 15, 20, and you know all that. And I guess that's why I just never did. But this felt right. This type of game is like, okay, this is, you're playing it. There's a reason I need to buy this game. We're gonna play together.
Yeah.
We're gonna stream, watch, get to chat like we would do. Kind of like everybody wins.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just never got into
You
it.
were you so you have a PS4 saying that you can't stream.
Should
So
be able
I
to.
still have. I would imagine you could. I don't know for sure without checking into it. The reason why I say that is because I still have my Xbox One and I'm still streaming from it. I don't stream from it every day, but I still occasionally stream from it. All you need is the Twitch app, and it should have a spot up there that says broadcast. And on, I don't know what it would on a, like I said, I don't know on a PS4 because I don't have one, haven't seen it, but I know on my Xbox One it says broadcast up there, and if you hit that button, it'll tell you where to go and what to do.
Search a YouTube video. Literally search on YouTube how to stream from a PlayStation 4, and there'll be a walkthrough. It's like, okay, download this app. You have to create an account, Twitch or you both, and then say, okay, now you need this. I'll put the stream key in, or how it handles that part about. Maybe that's automatic through
Well,
the app,
but see if you just do Twitch from your console, you don't even have to do all that.
no, that's
you
what I'm
just
saying. If it's Twitch, it
you just
probably
have
is
to
literally the app, and you
once
go.
you download the app, it's all you really have to do is just hit the broadcast button. If it's anything like it is on the one, it'll tell you that you have to go to a website, which you're gonna have to you probably want to anyways. Create your account offline, or not on the console. You'll want to make it you want to create it like with a computer, but then you can log into it and it'll give you on what it gave me was a QR code, and the QR code took my phone to the activation screen to activate the broadcast.
When you get more
Yeah, I'm so I am broadcast. I've been broadcasting Minecraft because I've been doing a Minecraft tutorial, and I only have Minecraft on my Xbox One, and so every other Sunday I've been broadcasting from it, or trying to do it. I've only done a couple of them yet, but yeah, they still support those. So I would imagine the PS4, because that would be the equivalent of my Xbox One. So
this is assuming you have at least semi decent internet. Otherwise,
well, yeah, but you don't have to be a Minecraft guy. Those are the games. I'm only streaming I only stream the games that I have. I mean, I'm doing a tutorial for Junkman's son. I do play Minecraft off to the, I don't usually stream it, but I've been doing this tutorial. I have Fortnite and I have, Call of Duty and stuff, but I don't stream that stuff because as a streamer, the farm sim community doesn't really like watching that stuff. So yeah, that's something you have to kind of take into consideration with your streams, of what kind of a streamer you are and the communities you're in and what they support. And
But I guess that's the thing. If you're just doing it like for example, what I do is my streams channel, YouTube channel. Like before I came here, I was streaming me playing my Atari 2600, like real hardware. I have it. It's a whole complicated setup to even get the console to out, to get the output into the computer so it can get on stream. But it's like I do that. Then sometimes if I'm working on my car, something like that, I'll restoring something, I'll do that as a stream. So you can do. I would just, if you're interested in doing it, don't worry about the whole community aspect just yet, or maybe somebody might
well,
like this
definitely
game.
not, because you don't know where you're gonna fall in.
Exactly.
And
But if you start gaining traction somewhere and you're liking it and you're enjoying the if you're enjoying the concept of streaming and everything, and you find out, oh, this game, people really like to watch me play this, I get a couple of viewers anytime I do this, and then some other game to play nobody watches. It's like, okay, you kind of figure out, okay, nobody is coming to my channel to watch this game, but they are for that game. That's when you decide to, okay, that's what he's saying, is his channel's known for farm simming, and he'll get 10 10 viewers regularly farm simming. But if you went to go play Fortnite, people would hop in and they're like, oh, he's not playing farm sim, I don't want to watch this, and then they leave.
yeah,
That's what he's
yeah.
that's what,
Well,
in a nutshell, that's what he's explaining to you.
yeah, and like I've even recently gone from, okay, farm sim only brings like, I don't know, 4 or 5, on a good day 6 or 7, and play another game called American Truck Simulator, and for some reason that one can bring in as many as 9 in a stream, and like, then you start making decisions. Okay, well, this one's bringing more, and so I can get more viewers. So maybe I should start adding that into my schedule, or and that's like the Minecraft thing. I'm only doing that every other week because I think the farm sim community kind of would support it a little bit. I haven't really lost viewership on it, but I've also been putting it on the days that I do my farm sim stuff, and I guess I've kind of already lost the views that I'm gonna lose there anyways, because the game's this version is like 2 years old. I think a lot of us farm sim, or a lot of people in farm sim, think the content is kind of not coming out like it used to. Just not a lot of not a lot to draw the interest, so can kind of experiment a little bit there.
But another thought too is play the games you enjoy and create, and if you have the personality, or you can be someone enjoyable to watch or whatever. I mean, I don't know if I really have a quote personality, but I guess like with my Atari stuff, it's like a certain age, that's going to only hit a certain age demographic, and not a lot of those are on YouTube. But I'm doing it because I want to. I want to. I'm having fun.
Well,
but then some people,
and we're both that, but that's the way we both are. Is like, this isn't about making money to,
or running it like a business
for a new day job or anything. This is just about hey, we're having fun goofing around playing a game, and if people want to watch us do it, that's great, and if they don't want to watch us do it, that's fine. We'll just keep doing it anyways.
Because actually my audience is not gamers, it's people
No.
that want to see motorcycle restorations. But the
Yeah.
thing is some of those people will occasionally pop into my other stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, you're, okay, I remember this, or oh, they've never seen, sometimes they've never seen Farm Sim, and so they're like, oh, that's kind of interesting, because oh, I grew up on a farm, or my uncle does. That. Somebody can always connect in some way, but again, we're not making business decisions based on.
No.
I've
Well,
been,
not those kinds of business
yeah.
decisions,
I
anyways.
mean,
I am. Wait,
I
I would say I am making some
well,
business
you kind of
decisions
are,
as far as
but
the
again,
channel go, but
yeah, you
not like game changing business
no,
decisions.
but you are trying to work at it, and that's the thing. You keep it as a
But
hobby.
that's the thing is I'm not necessarily trying to work at it. It's just like it's just coming out naturally. It's like, well, this is what I want to do. This like the charity stream that sounded kind of fun. I wanted to do it last year. I was able to do it this year, and this is what I needed to do to get set up for it.
Yep.
Kind of like I'll be getting set up now for the Halloween's one. So
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is that's a thing that I start, because YouTube began or started live streaming in 2014, or the ability to live stream in 2014. And so when I and at first they were only allowing, it was only invite only, certain channels could, you had to be of a certain size and thing to begin live streaming, not just now anybody can, but back then it was, you had to have at least 10,000 subscribers and stuff, because it was still kind of in beta. And I was like, oh, well, you know what, I'll stream on Halloween. And I my first stream, and you can go back and watch it, the whole deal was, I set up a webcam next to my door, uh, to watch. So when the trick or treaters would come up, people could see them on stream, and we would rate. I had viewers coming in, and I had 15 or 20 people or something, and we were rating the costumes. But in between trick or treaters and stuff, what I was doing is I had my emulator, and I was playing like Halloween themed games, like specifically Atari 2600, or old computer games, but they were Halloween themed. And people were popping in, and then I was I had some graphics on screen, and was making, kind of making some jokes, and kind of trying to be in a personality or whatever. And I was like, well, that was really fun, so I was like, I'll do that again. And then so I just kind of started from there. And then you got to streaming, then I was like, well, why don't we team or do a dual stream? And then we've just been doing that ever since the beginning. Or ever since, I guess.
yeah.
But
Well, he said he's going to bed. So, well, good
okay.
night, Brad.
Well, that's kind of neat. I'd like to see if he looks up, tries to.
Yeah.
Right. Grass to pick up. I mean, there's little spots here and there.
No, I don't think so. I think we were kind of. I'm guessing. I'm thinking that it's kind of done, or we should probably have a lot anyways. Yeah, we got 467,000 liters.
Okay. Well, I got a little bit.
And we ate grass.
Yeah. I got a little bit to put in there.
I don't know about you, but I need gas. Like
I
really bad.
got half a tank, so I'm good.
Okay, well I'm gonna dump the trailer and then drive up to the store and get gas. I won't back it in, so that way if you put yours away,
Yeah, I can just drive through.
you can just drive through. I'll back mine in later. So I don't think we always talk about that I'm gonna talk about them, but I never do. But I went to a concert Wednesday night.
Well, I saw you uh posted that. I recognize the band, but it looked like a good show.
It was an awesome show. I'm surprised you don't recognize the band because we
Well,
used to
what's the
listen to
name
them.
again?
Lacuna Coil.
Yeah, see, that doesn't
So
ring a bell.
they're like 20 years old. I can even remember I bought the CD of theirs in Target in Kearney, and it was like 20 some years ago.
Hmm. Ring a
And
bell,
then
but yes.
you remember when I went with Marsha to a concert out in Denver?
Yeah.
Okay, well they were the opening band for Megadeth
Okay. Yeah, that
for
was a few
that
years
show.
back. Okay,
So so I've seen them twice, but the last time or the that time in with Megadeth, they had
that's right. That was
they
Megadeth.
they had they had sound issues. Um I don't know what it was, but they're I'm I guess I just assume it was the equipment or whatever, but like it wasn't them. I didn't think that sounded bad. It was just the board or something just did not make it sound very good. But yeah, I one so I bought these tickets like pretty much as soon as I heard they were coming. We don't normally go to Wednesday night shows just because we work the next day.
Well, that was
But
one
I
thing I was
but
thought odd for you,
yeah.
but it
Well,
was
and it's not
local,
so
so
much because of me. It's actually because of the friend I go with. He doesn't he never really wanted to take the time. Well, maybe he couldn't. I don't know, but he didn't ever want to take the time off to go um to go to the shows on a weeknight. And so it was like when I found out about the show, I was like, I don't care. I know the venue really well, and I know where to be. Like where to be in the crowd and
yeah,
stuff. We have a certain side we always hang on, and it's usually very nice. There's no pits or anything over there, and you can get really close to the stage and stuff. So it's like I can go by myself. This is not a big deal. I know where to park. I know everything about this venue, and so I was gonna do that. And so I bought my ticket, and I bought the meet and greet, and then he's like, yeah, I'll go. And it's like, well, you have to buy your own. I couldn't afford to do both of them, so he bought his own. Usually, I buy both of ours, and then he just pays me back. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I got the meet and greets because I wanted to meet him,
yeah.
but I was kind of disappointed in that part of it because some of them I've done in the past. Um, it's you don't really know what they're gonna do until they get there and tell you. But some of them I've done in the past. I've been on their buses. You get to talk to them for like half an hour,
Right.
and there's only so many people there.
A little more intimate, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little bit more intimate. If there's questions you're dying to ask, you can ask them and whatnot. But this was more like, okay, so we come in the door. They gave us a flag, um, a lanyard, and a drawstring bag to put stuff in. Well, so they signed the flag. They thanked us for coming through as they were signing the flag, and then we had to go. Kind of hard to just explain a little bit, just because of, but we had to go through into the where the concert area is and around. so that we could get back into another line, so that when everybody was done getting their flags signed, then they could take pictures with them.
Oh, so
And
what? Okay, so you had to wait
so
in
that
line even though you were back, kind of like the backstage deal. Yes.
yeah, and then and then they took a picture with us, but they didn't really talk to us other than thanking us the first time around or anything. And then like I was looking at my pictures, like none of them are smiling in it. Like at least in Flames last year, they were all smiling and stuff.
Yeah,
None
they
of
at
these
least.
guys
Well, it's
were.
like you at least gotta pretend like you care about the fan. That paid
And
money to come see you. I mean, yeah.
so that so the only I mean the only other bonuses to this thing were that we were once we were in the venue, we were in the venue, so we got first shot at merch if we wanted it, and we could basically pick where we were going to be at for the show, which all of us picked the rails. So I was literally,
Well, I saw those pictures. That looked like a pretty good place to
yeah, we were
stand.
literally 5 foot away from Christina as she was singing the whole night.
Well,
All
and
right,
that's the
now I'm
thing.
ready.
Um, yeah, let's screw around a little bit, and then we'll maybe call it a stream. But yeah, and also it looked like, yeah, you could get really close, like I was gonna say like a Red Rocks. I mean, you can't get that close, or like God, it's been a long time since I've been to places, but we went and saw who in the hell was it, Stained or whatever at the Fillmore or whatever. You could get reasonably
No, it
close
was
there,
saliva.
or Saliva. I don't know why I thought Stained. You're right. Now when you said that, I was like, no, that's right. Um, um, but I was thinking of other venues. Well, like the Rob Zombie deal. I mean, even though I quote got bled on, I was still like 10, not close,
Yeah,
and that was only because he went and had went in front of the monitors, which normally a musician isn't going to do that because you get away from the monitors, you can't can't hear what you're playing. I'm not a musician, but I assume that's the only way you can kind of keep time, or keep.
nah, they have it running into their earpieces
Well,
nowadays.
not well. I know they knew now, but did always back then? I don't know.
I I think they do. I think it was just now is obviously better technology, but I'm guessing they probably did.
But
Maybe
anyway,
not, but
but there's the security guards and all that are kind of just blocking your view when you're even that close. That's why it's kind of, I mean, it was neat and everything, and it was a hell of an experience. I'll never forget it. But also, I'm glad we, were where we were when we were, because you can't see everything. Like that particular venue, you can see right in front of you, and that's like it. You can't see how the show with all the pyrotechnics and all that stuff like you can when you're a little bit farther away, or in the pit, or whatever, at event, that, like I said, it looked like just a good venue, small-ish, but a good crowd.
yeah,
Let's see.
yeah. It was, well, I don't know how many they hold in there. Maybe 1,000.
Yeah.
It was because it's weird too because it's I think it was an old movie theater, but without the seats, obviously, and it's all slanted. So even if you're in the very very back, you're you're above everybody that's in front of you, so you don't have to fight them
That's
to see the view.
that's nice because that's one thing. Even back in the day when I was more into that stuff in the pit, mosh pits and all that, it's like when I wanted to just get back and watch the show, it's like, well, then you were too dang far away. And actually, I got to the
Yeah,
point where the smaller show, like, well, and when I say smaller, I'm specific thinking some of the stuff we at Mac, well, when Maxwell's was a thing, those were actually pretty great because you're right there.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, there was only a few hundred people in at something like that, but if it's good music, it's good music. It doesn't matter. But
but yeah. So I was a little disappointed in the VIPs a little bit, but um, but the show was really good. So that part of it was, I mean, I you could tell it was going to be a good show from the very opening band, the uh very first second they hit their guitars. It's like, yeah, this is going to be this is going to be a good night.
yeah, I don't know. Me and Katie
See,
were.
and what, I don't know if you ever listened to him. I don't think you did, but I don't know. But Fear Factory was the middle band,
I've heard of
and
them. Yeah, actually,
they
Katie
were
knows them better than I do. Yeah.
they were a they were some, so kind of give you a kind of a premise of what's going on there. I used to listen to them, and their newer stuff I'm not as into. I'm not connected to as much as their older stuff. So I was like, oh, I want to see them, but I'm a little scared that all they're gonna play is their newer stuff, and I don't know their newer stuff, and it's like what I want to hear is their older stuff.
Yeah.
But they did a very good job of kind of mixing everything together. So they had some of their older songs, that the songs that made them famous,
Yeah.
and then they were playing their newer stuff, um, which is good. Was good too. It was they've kind of gone through. There's really only one band member that's left from the original band, and so that's kind of why they morphed, and maybe why I'm not connected to their newer stuff, because it's not
Not the
exact,
same. Yeah.
not the same band, not the same style, and or kind of got the same feel, but kind of doesn't, kind of thing. But anyways, yeah, they did a really good job of like playing the old stuff, and but adding the new stuff into. So that was pretty good. And then of course I knew Lacuna Coil stuff, so
Yeah. See,
they did a good job
I'm pretty
too.
much when I think about it, my music that I regularly listen to, I'm pretty much just stuck. I mean, it's my tastes are eclectic, but it's pretty much stuck back in the stuff I've always listened to. Is because I've always listened to Beatles. I've always listened to more classic rock. But then when you get to the stuff that was new when we were young, now it's like, okay, that's just that's what I listen to. I do listen to some new music, and actually I hate to say it now. I wouldn't go to a show. I wouldn't regularly listen to this, but uh Katie fairly frequently, when she's just cooking or whatever, is listening to like 21 Pilots. And I don't like everything, and I'm not a super fan at all, but their music, I've come to appreciate it because their music is so varied. Like, there's stuff I just don't like, certain songs, but then it's like it'll go from like a real like poppy this or that or something that like ugh, like almost like a well, uh trying to reference something. I'm gonna like a almost a Bruno Mars kind of thing or sound, and I'm not wild about that kind of music. But then it'll go to kind of a what you could call a almost harder rock sound. Okay, it's not rock, but it'd be like pop rock. What pop rock used to be, but harder. So they'll have stuff like that. Then they'll have almost kind of like a blend, like throw a little bit of R&B in there. It's not really R&B, but then you listen to the lyrics and it's like real, um, like kind of in depth or something. I don't know. It's just real and it's not a sound or something I thought I'd enjoy. It's again not a fan. Don't seek it out. But if it's on and it's like okay, I won't radio. It doesn't necessarily come on the radio, but like when it somehow turns up in the YouTube mix because she's do it, I won't necessarily just skip it.
Yeah.
I'll let it play through. But other than that, I continuously just listen to, the Rob Zombie, the Godsmack, the well, uh, Saliva, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't. Although I have been digging out, I did dig out my CD wallet, and in the car when talk radio's at a commercial, I will flip the CD on and I'll go through a CD. So I'm listening to some of the Skull Crusher mixes and the
I
Humane
don't
back
have
then.
so I don't have any of that stuff anymore because someone stole that whole. I mean, the whole reason I made some of that, the whole reason I made that stuff is so that if it ever got stolen, I wasn't missing the original copies of my CDs. Well, they got stolen.
Yeah.
One night, so I don't have any of that stuff anymore.
Well, and then I have the ones that then I made on my roommate's computer, and I downloaded that stuff from either like iMesh, and I don't think he had LimeWire, but after Nap, I mean it was post Napster because Napster down, but then there was others that came
Yeah.
in, so that
Yeah.
that was stuff from that, and then um, but then there was but then I ran across, remember well you do Ninefall, I mean
Yep.
yep, okay, I popped that CD in, that's in there right now, and I guess
You know what? I was
it as
always
much
gonna.
as I don't like it as much as I did then. I don't know, either I've gotten a little older. I'm listening to it, it's nostalgic because I remember see them, I remember when I first heard those songs, and then some, and then of course they got a few covers in. um but I don't know, I'm not like, oh, I really used to like this, but now it doesn't sound as good now.
No.
I don't like, I don't hate it, but again, it's not something I like. It's not like ACDC where I can pretty much put on damn near any one of their albums and I'll listen to it all the way through. I don't like every single song, of course, but I where this was like, okay, I'm gonna skip on. I don't know. It's things like that I don't know why that's changed, but sometimes my taste that way has changed.
Yeah.
Some, I guess those they were lesser known ones that either introduced me to or we even saw. Like I'm out of touch with whatever this new metal and new rock and new rock.
Well, but they've been using that term ever since we were in college.
I know, but
That's what.
but whatever it is now, some of it just is not, because like KBPI, I don't know. I mean, they still play a lot of the stuff they've been playing for the last 30 years now. But
You want to
but it
something kind of funny is I found it's called, I think the station's called New Metal, but the it's all music from 20 years ago.
oh, okay.
So
Well,
it's like a retro station, but it's a retro station, but it's a retro station to the new metal, or to the new metal from 20 years ago.
okay.
And it's out of, I think it's out of Atlanta or somewhere like that. I found it on iHeart. I was like, "Oh, what's this?" Because it said new metal, and it's like, what the heck is this? So I tried it out one day, and it's like, oh, well, this is music that was
Yeah.
new 20 years ago.
Well, yeah, I guess what I'm saying is like, KBPI, does play new stuff, new metal, but just newer or current stuff along with their mixes. And I'm just saying some of it is just whiny. The songs or the lyrics, it's it's uninspired, I guess. That not necessarily catchy. There's seems like guitar riffs aren't there, or it's hard to run across at least. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hard for me to explain. It's like I don't know. It's some of it just blends together. I guess it starts sounding a little. Some of this newer stuff sounds a little bit the same that they're playing on
Yeah,
the radio. And again, maybe it's what they determine radio friendly. And if you bought the album, there's others. That's the thing. I've generally been more, even with classic rock and all that. I've always been more of a B side listener. I don't like even the super bands that everybody likes. I tend to like the side B type songs, or the lesser known or lesser played stuff. The stuff that wasn't popular in its prime.
yeah,
I tend to like the songs. And again, that's the same like with the vinyl collection. I got all the stuff that's popular, but I I I tend to listen all the way through and enjoy the other songs that you didn't hear. I'm going back to the 60s to late 80s is probably the newest. Well, other than my Greta Van, I know. I don't have anything later than probably 89 on vinyl.
yeah,
Even though they've, come out with new stuff, like you can buy hip hop and all. And I've almost thought about it, except for it wouldn't sound very good on my record player because speakers I have it's tuned for that kind of stuff. It probably wouldn't sound. It wouldn't sound right. It would sound okay. It just wouldn't sound right because it's a tube. It's a tube amp. It's tuned more for probably like oldies, like country and early rock and roll, like pre Elvis even type rock and roll.
yeah,
Because it's from 1964, but I've seen some of the now it's classic hip hop. The stuff we kind of grew up with, not the gangster stuff. But I've almost thought about it, but I don't want to pay $40. I don't like it that much. That's the problem. If it was like $20, it might, like a Tupac record or something, or a Biggie, something along that line, or like the dance type stuff. I can't think of like the stuff we would have heard in Lyric Jets, back in the
yeah.
day, that kind of stuff. but I'm not gonna pay 40 or 50. I mean, that's kind of like the Metallica thing. We talked about this, you know, but but everybody was going nuts in this vinyl group that I'm in uh, about it, and but I'm like, okay, that sounds good, but it's not pay 40 $50 to have it on vinyl good. I guess not that I'm not that kind of fan. I get I get it for a true hardcore Metallica, and they're going to display it on the wall and all that stuff, but where I just casually listen to stuff, I'm not dollars for.
Yeah.
If I run across it used, I'll pick it up, but all right. Shut the stream down here. So,
Yeah.
all
Same
right.
here.
Now